This is Bot City, and I'm Jet West. Today on the show, Google sitting on a 30-second video generator that's so good they're keeping it locked down. We're breaking down why they're not letting it loose. Google built a video model that can generate longer videos. The model exists, the capability is real, and Google is not giving it to you. Not because they can't, because they decided not to. That is the actual story out of Google I/O this week, and it got buried under 2 hours of keynote and a product name that sounds like a cosmetics brand. So why does a company with 900 million monthly Gemini users, a stock price that rewards growth, and a direct competitor in OpenAI that will absolutely use any capability gap as a marketing slide, voluntarily cap their flagship video tool at 10 seconds? Nicole Britova, who runs product for this at Google DeepMind, was asked that directly. Her answer, and I'm reading this carefully because the phrasing matters, was that 10 seconds is not a model limitation, but rather a decision based both on a desire to get it into more hands and an anticipation that most users won't want to make much longer videos yet. Longer durations are in the pipeline for the near future. The model can already do it. They built it. They are sitting on it. There's a version of that explanation that is thoughtful product strategy, staged rollouts, moderation overhead, making sure the consumer experience doesn't crater before the product establishes a foothold. That version exists. And there is also a version where the business model around longer video generation hasn't been priced out yet. The compute costs per generation haven't been folded into a tier structure that works. And the liability exposure on a tool that lets people deepfake themselves into arbitrary scenes at any length is genuinely unsettled. That version also exists. Britova's quote covers the first version. The coverage you've seen almost entirely stopped there. Nobody in the press room appears to have asked what a 30-second Gemini Omni video costs Google to generate at scale, or whether the new pricing structure, a drop from $250 to $200 per month for the top tier and a new $100 per month tier appearing out of nowhere, is designed to absorb that cost or redirect it. Those questions were not asked. The answers are therefore not in any of the coverage. The omission is not accidental. It's just the shape of I/O press days. You get the demo, you get the quote, you get the slide. The P&L is someone else's problem. The 900 million monthly users number, by the way, is doing some serious work in Google's framing this week. It was in the keynote. It was in the press briefings. It was in the blog posts. What nobody defined is what use means in that sentence. Whether a Google search user who encounters an AI overview and closes the tab counts. Whether monthly means once in 30 days or sustained engagement. The difference between 900 million people who touch the Gemini Power feature and 900 million active Gemini app users is not a minor rounding issue. It is a different company. Google did not specify, and nobody pressed them on it. So back to the video cap, because this is the thread that pulls. Brichtova also said in the same briefing that Google is pretty proud of Omni's text rendering capabilities, specifically for advertising use cases where a slogan needs to be accurate. She said Google definitely anticipates filmmakers and creators using the model. And then she described a tool limited to 10 seconds that is rolling out to YouTube Shorts as a consumer feature for what a Google DeepMind research engineer described, without apparent irony, as personalized memes. Filmmakers, advertising, personalized memes. These are three different products wearing the same product name. The contradiction isn't incidental. It is the business model in a nutshell. Google needs the consumer numbers to justify platform scale. Google needs the enterprise and creator pitch to justify the margin. And right now, in the same week, They are telling both audiences that Omni is for them, while the actual product shipped to consumers tops out at a duration roughly equal to the time it takes to read this sentence out loud. The avatar feature compounds this. Gemini Omni will let you create a digital version of yourself and insert it into generated video scenes. To prevent abuse, you have to record yourself reading a series of numbers aloud. Identity verification before you get the tool. It's a reasonable guardrail as guardrails go. What the coverage doesn't touch is what happens after verification. When a verified user creates content that is defamatory, non-consensual in implication, or just designed to deceive, the Synth ID watermark gets embedded in every Omni-generated video, but Synth ID only helps if the platform receiving that video checks for it. Most of the internet does not check for it. Google knows this. The liability question is real, and it is entirely absent from everything published about this feature. OpenAI's version of this, a feature called cameos inside Sora, is now described in the coverage as defunct. The coverage doesn't say why it was shut down or when. Google is positioning Omni's avatar tool as the successor without explaining what the predecessor ran into. That context matters. It is not there. What Google did ship at I/O that is genuinely worth paying attention to is the MCP integration framework inside Gemini Spark. Model Context Protocol, originally developed by Anthropic as an open standard, is now Google's connection layer to Canva, OpenTable, Instacart, and a list of partners that is reportedly growing. An agent that runs in the cloud, executes tasks while your phone is off, and connects to third-party services through an open protocol is a real architectural shift. The interesting question nobody is asking is whether Google adopting MCP is a concession, meaning they couldn't get proprietary integration deals, or a deliberate play to commoditize the integration layer and compete purely on model quality. Those are opposite strategic postures, and the answer determines whether Google is building a moat or building a commons. No coverage explains which one this is. The universal shopping cart announcement is in the same category. Google's agent buys things for you across multiple retailers through a single Google-managed checkout. The announcement does not mention a transaction fee, an affiliate cut, or a payment processing margin. It describes the feature as a capability. The monetization is implied by the feature's existence and entirely undisclosed. Someone is making money on that cart. It is probably Google. Sundar Pichai described this week as a period of hyper progress, while also acknowledging this is the part of the cycle where people want to see real value in the products they use on a day-to-day basis. That is an unusually candid framing for an I/O keynote. It translates roughly to, we have been announcing capabilities for 3 years, and the retention numbers are telling us something. The 10-second cap, the pricing reshuffle, the 900 million users figure with no engagement breakdown. These are not separate stories. They are one story about a platform that is very good at building the model and still working out whether it has built the business. Google has the longer video capability. They have it right now. They are not releasing it because the economics of releasing it are not yet settled, and the consumer behavior assumptions embedded in the current cap are a placeholder, not a strategy. When Omni Pro launches, whenever Bricktova decides there is a step change above Flash sufficient to justify the release, the 10-second ceiling becomes the floor, and the actual product competition begins. Every capability race headline from this week is about the warm-up. Thank you for listening to the Bot City podcast. If you like this episode, show us some love with 5 stars and a follow. Keep bussing.
Grab news. Thomas.